All right, welcome in, boys. Take it to the bank. Darlington. Keg is struggling this weekend. He's hurting. He doesn't have energy today. But, as always, he's joined by his NASCAR partner in crime, Coop, who's got enough energy for the both of us tonight. Coop, how are you, my guy?
I am excellent, man. I am excellent. And I'm going to will you through excellency too.
All
So
right.
you're going to get there, buddy. We're going to get there. Everything's going to be all right.
You know what, Coop? If I got you in my corner, buddy, I feel like I could do anything, you know?
Yep. Yep. Going to be a great weekend, man. Grant come through for us. I told you it was going to be bad, and now I'm going to fire away like crazy, buddy.
That's frightening. All right.
Football starts tomorrow.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
recap on
Yeah.
Saturday. We were live for the Coke 0400. I bet 4 drivers live. 2 of them somehow finished 1-2, which is absurd. We grabbed Chris Buescher at 22-1, which was great, making that the first time in my 13 years of full-time betting that I've hit both Daytona races in a calendar year. Will probably never happen again because there's a ton of luck involved when you hit Daytona. On top of that, we got a couple parlays through to this weekend. 14-1 and 23-1. Hopefully we get home tomorrow to finish that out. Then the truck race on Sunday. We screamed Grant Enfinger all week. We thought he deserved probably to be the second choice in terms of your betting favorite after Majeski. It went really well. On Sunday morning, Coop asked me who I thought would win, gun to my head. I said Enfinger. I bet him 3 times. Coop's response was, "That's what I want to hear." I totally agree. And then the race started, and everything went our way, man. It keeps coming up roses. It's another great weekend for TSK when it comes to NASCAR, Coop. How about that? Who would have thought?
That is a great weekend, man. Very good weekend. The parlays are coming through. The gut feelings are coming through. I don't know, man. This sport's just become so data driven, man. And I think like you can only use so much data, uh, you know, because you're just splitting hairs with these drivers that are, in the same group when it comes to
Oh,
data. And they score again.
yeah, 28-13, and we're catching it.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's. All
All
right.
right, but I just think there's so many people that are just become so much into the numbers. And don't get me wrong, I'm into the numbers, but at some point you got to go with your gut.
Yeah, for sure. So what were your takeaways from Daytona? Anything?
I think it was one of the better super speedway races, if not the best one that I've seen in this new car, because they spent a lot more time in the 3 wide than what I thought they were going to. I didn't think they were going to have much 3 wide, and the 3 wide's what we really need to happen in order for the passing to take place. So I was encouraged by it, and hopefully, they build upon that, and it continues.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was probably the most entertaining super speedway race, at least of this year, for sure. And I agree that they were definitely 3 wide more than they have been in this new car dating back to the beginning of last year. So I'm with you. I agree on all that. Thank God, obviously, if you didn't watch the race, the whole world knew what happened to Ryan Preece. Thank God that he was okay. And it's just crazy when you think of how far they've come from Dale hitting the wall at Daytona to
Yeah,
watching what we watched last weekend. It's unbelievable how safe these cars are.
yeah. But I mean, the thing is, like back then when they hit that wall, I mean, I remember when Blaney hit that wall this past weekend, that wall just gave in so much.
Right.
Back then, man, it was just concrete and it
Right.
didn't give in
I mean,
whatsoever.
how reminiscent did that look of what happened at Dale? Straight
Yeah.
head on right into that upper barrier. But like you said,
Mhm.
man, that safer barrier gives like a foot. It's crazy.
Yeah.
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 And then obviously the Hans device changed everything. But yeah. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm in lockstep. How about Christopher Buescher winning 3 of the last 5 Cup races? That's incredible.
Yeah. I saw somebody, you know how old Chris Buescher is?
Do I know how old he is? I would think between 35 and 40.
No,
How old is he?
I think he's 30. He's
Wow.
within 1 or 2 years of that age.
That's a lot younger than I
And
would have thought.
the person said, like, Marty bloomed late. Like, what if Chris Buescher is becoming like a late bloomer? And at 30, calling somebody, a late bloomer, but yeah, I mean, the guy's been incredible. Um, he's been running the best that he's ever run and taking advantage of it and being in the right places. All the calls have worked for him. Has a fast car, showing that he can, get the job done. And kudos to the guy. He's won 3 out of the last 5 races.
It's unbelievable that he's won 3 out of the last 5. And like, let me ask you this: is Roush back? Like when you consider he's won 3 of the last 5. I think over the last 8 weeks, Brad Keselowski has had the number 1 average finish in NASCAR, if not number 1, number 2.
Yeah,
He's had
I
a
think he's
great
number 1.
he's had a great year, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
is Roush back? You think?
Well, I don't know if Roush is back, but Keselowski's back. Like, I don't know how much Roush has to really do with it. I think Brad's probably running that, organization. And, Roush is there along to have his name on it, providing the money and things of that nature. So, guy's done a phenomenal job. And, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes a three car team, in the next 2 years or so.
Yeah. I'm happy for Chris Buescher, man. I really am.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we turn our attention to the track Too Tough to Tame, to the Lady in Black, the track known for the black stripe that will probably be on the right side of most cars on Sunday night. As far as the track comp for Darlington this week, so I don't think there really isn't one, right? Is it an intermediate track? Yeah. Is it a track that I think it's a little less than 1.4 miles? But we know that there is an insane amount of tire wear on this track, like Homestead, like the old format in California. But there is no track really like this, right? She's her own monster. I've heard people say Kansas this week. But honestly, when I'm studying the race coupe, I weighted about 25% of my handicap from what we saw at Darlington in both races last year. And then I weighted about 75% of my handicap based off what we saw in the spring at Darlington. I'm not looking at current form at all because I don't really think it means much. The first week of the playoffs starts Sunday, right? So teams have been doing all sorts of crazy shit over the last 8 weeks. Guys that were locked into the playoffs have been trying things for tracks that are in the playoffs. Guys that were on the bubble have been doing everything that they could do to get in. So I'm really only looking at the majority of my handicap is Darlington from earlier in the year and Darlington last year. Where are you at in terms of what you looked at when capping this race?
I looked only at Darlington.
From this year?
Just Darlington in general.
Okay.
So, like you said, it's its own, beast. You can use Kansas, you can use Charlotte, you could use Miami, but in the end, Darlington is Darlington, and it's so much different because the tires wear there much more than what they do at these other tracks, and one thing that stuck out to me when I was looking at this is a long first stage, 115 laps, and it's the same amount for stage two. So, this is a tough race, man.
Obviously, gas means nothing, right? It's all about they're going to use tires constant right here.
Tires. I think what I heard is they had 13 sets, so they could run about 28 laps on each set and evaporate them all, until the end.
Before we get into the contenders and we go down the odds board, what are your thoughts in general this week about manufacturers?
I think it's wide open, man. I think that prior to practice, I think it's feasible to bet 15 or 16 different drivers. Because I can make a case for all of them, positively and negatively. So I just think it's wide open. And to me, the thing that sticks out is how you went on a sermon, I think it was last week, if not last week, the week before, about these races that don't have the guaranteed caution. Like, that's what I want Darlington to be. Don't have a guaranteed caution, because that's what's going to make the cars really good and really bad. Because when they have that guaranteed caution, they're just going to split it up, into either halves or thirds. And when they don't have that guaranteed caution, it's going to force them to run longer. And by doing that, it's really going to give an advantage to the drivers that manage their tires much better. Whereas now, the way they're doing it, you still have to manage your tires, but speed comes in much, much more. So, where you were talking, that it's much easier to cap, much easier to watch, much easier to see during the race live when we don't have guaranteed cautions, and it's what we want, because it's easier to bet that way, is now gone, because, this is going to be a tough one. And, the pit teams are going to be extremely, extremely important.
Yeah, I agree with that. We should mention that Chris Bell, whose pit crew has been pretty abysmal, will have the pit crew of the 54 for the playoffs, which was one of the better pit crews in NASCAR this year. You think that helps Bell?
Sure as hell can't hurt him.
Sure as hell can't hurt him. I agree.
All
right.
They can't get any worse. They can only get better.
I agree. I agree with that. All right, let's look at the odds board. Marty, Truex has been your odds-on favorite basically all week, deservedly so. He's been the best car all year, and he's been great on every track format this year in NASCAR. He was either the best car in the Darlington Spring Race or the second best car. He crashed during the race. He didn't finish inside the top 25, but he had a 4-second lead on the field twice, although there was one car that was able to pass him, and that was Chastain. We know Marty's phenomenal. We know he's a phenomenal tire wear guy. Most of the decorated veterans are in the sport. And while he's been very hot and cold at Darlington in the past, there's no reason to think that Marty's not going to have a top 5 car on Sunday. So is the price warranted based off the car this year? Yes. Am I running to bet him pre-race at plus 550? Not really. I think you could if you're only going to bet one or two drivers and you're going to bet them straight, I guess I get it. But, if you do what we've done this year, consistently get guys 5 times their closing number, if you get creative. I love Marty this week. I assume that you do too, and he's a no-brainer. You agree?
Yeah, but we're not going to get him at 5 times. So you can, write that off unless you're going to play El Capo type of parlays. So I think, like you said, 15 is much more realistic.
Right.
I've bet him 3 times, right around that number, give or take, each way. And so far, they're all live.
What do you have? Like 1 unit totally invested on him?
Yeah, I have them in 3 different types of parlays.
Yeah. That's basically where I'm at. I have 1 unit invested, but just 1 parlay right now.
Right.
But yeah,
I mean, I have 3 drivers that I'm really high on this week.
Above the rest?
Above the rest. All right.
Okay.
And then I have 3 that are going to be right there, I think. And then I have 4, I think, that are going to be sleepers that could screw us.
I bet you I can name the 3 that you're highest on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Marty, Chastain, and Larson.
No.
So
no. But back to Marty. I think he's going to be a driver, all right, who is going to lead some laps. And, as long as his pit crew team holds up and he stays away from, any type of issues, he could be there at the end. I mean, the thing is, these last couple Darlington races, the drivers that have led a lot of laps haven't been there at the end, unfortunately.
Yeah. One note before we go before we continue to go down the board. If you aren't heavily in, this is for the people watching. If you're not invested pre-race, right, and you want to bet this race live, the race starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. The sun will probably be out. The track will be hot. But this is one of the longest races of the year, and the track is going to change considerably throughout the night. And there's a decent chance that whoever looks incredible early in this race will probably not be the car that looks great late, unless the driver and the team completely locked in and they can stay ahead of the track. So I think that you should keep that in mind. You're going to see some cars in the second half of Sunday night's race that turn on like they flipped the nitrous switch. And, if you're heavily invested pre-race, doesn't really concern you all that much unless you aren't on those guys and you want to get on somebody. But if you're just betting live, keep that in mind. Would you agree with that?
100%, man. 100%. And who's going to be that car that turns on is the $1 million answer.
Right. All right. After Marty, Kyle Larson, 5.5 to 1. He opened second choice in the market this week, but he's starting to take money. He's now your odds-on favorite at FanDuel. I believe he's the co-favorite right now at Caesars. So the money's coming in. His market average is probably somewhere around plus 525 right now. But, Kyle Larson has never won a race at Darlington on the Cup level. He's finished second here at this track 3 times. He's finished third here once, but he's never won. And that's pretty wild when you consider that there are 2 drivers that Darlington sets up very well for from a pure driving style perspective. And I think that's Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick, because they love to ride the wall and they do it better than everybody. But Larson's been close. He could easily win this race on Sunday, although I would be lying if I said that I wasn't concerned that he finished 20th in the spring race, If you bet the outright market the way that you and I do, I think you need them on the roster of drivers. If you're betting the outright market straight like we've done in years past, would I tell you to bet Kyle Larson at plus 550? No, I wouldn't. I don't think that's a good enough number to bet Kyle Larson if you're just going to bet him straight. But like I said, I'll have him in my roster of guys. I assume that you do too. Where are you at on Kyle Larson?
Yeah, Kyle Larson is in one of my top 3 drivers. And in my opinion, he's the elephant in the room because he's the one driver who could totally go out and Miami Homestead this track and put everybody else way behind because the results haven't shown how good he is here. And when you just mentioned, drivers who can adjust cars, drivers who can become better, like Kyle Larson's right there, man. How many times have we seen Kyle Larson struggle, and then they turn that flip, they switch that hit, they hit the right thing, and boom, that thing's a rocket, man.
Yeah.
And Kyle Larson on 1.5-mile tracks, minus the year that he won 10 races, has had a lot of issues. Whether he's found trouble's found him, the car's had issues. It's been a bevy of different things. And there's been some of these tracks, like he finished 20th last year, or in the spring, but he was much, much better than that. He led laps, he had an issue, and, he's one of those cars that when they do have issues, he can still find a way to get it done. And showing how fast he is, if he's going to be that fast with issues, if he can keep it clean, like he could lap the field.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. So those are 2 guys that we spoke about. Those are 2 guys that we've bet. I've made 5. I've bet 5 guys to win outright, and those are 2 of the 5 so far.
And to go back at it, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Kyle Larson ran that 17 Xfinity car at Watkins Glen because they know it was going to be good. All right. He's running the 17 again this race. And I guarantee you, he wants to win this race really bad because he knows that this track sets up perfectly for him, and it just hasn't played out for him. So, Kyle Larson's one of them drivers. Like I said, he could dog this whole field, or he could have issues.
Why do you think he ran so bad in the spring?
So I don't think it's that he ran bad, man. I think
he ran 20th,
but he led laps. He had an accident. Something happened. He just didn't run 20th.
Yeah, I mean, him and Chastain got into it at the front of the field, right?
Yeah, Adam Packers can let us know.
But did he have a winning car though? No, I don't think so. Do you think he had a winning car?
Probably.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But he's due. He's due at Darlington, man. He's been so close so many times.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm just going to go down the Bet365 odds board. Third choice, which is fucking absurd. Ross Chastain is 6.5 to 1 at Bet365. But you can get him, I think, at 11 or 12 to 1 at other places. I think right now the best number that you can get is 12 to 1. That that price disparity between books, I think, is a perfect representation of what the market thinks Chastain is going to do this week. He was either the best or the second best car probably in the spring. He was right there with Marty. Nobody was able to pass Truex but him in the spring race. And we know that he's been a top 5 car all year on intermediate tracks. But the dude's been MIA for 4 months now. Literally nowhere to be found. Now, some people think that, the nasty, aggressive Chastain is going to come out in the playoffs. Okay, that could be great. That could be awful, because he has as much chance to take himself out when he ramps it up as he does somebody else. People have said that Trackhouse focused on Suarez the last few months, trying to get him into the playoffs. And now that it's over and Suarez didn't make the playoffs, the sentiment is that all Trackhouse's resources will now go to back Chastain. Do I think that Chastain shows up on Sunday? I do. Do I think he will be as fast as he was in the spring? I don't know, but this is definitely his best track on the Cup circuit, no doubt. It's not even close. It is concerning, like I said, that he was MIA for months. However, I think that if you're betting this market the way that we have this year, I think you need to have him on your roster of drivers again, because he's probably going to be a top 5 car come Sunday. He was a guy, him and Denny were two guys that I was kind of iffy on this week, especially in the first half of the week. I was like, But the more I think about it, like, besides the 5 guys that I have, the first 2 guys that I think that I would want to back are probably Denny and Chastain. So I do think that by the time tomorrow comes, I'll have a Chastain ticket in my pocket. Where I don't right now. Where are you at with Ross?
So when the odds came out, I was hoping to get him at 12 to 15. And
Right.
the book said, no, that's not happening. So I was really disappointed by that. And on the other end, though, it told me, wow, he's not going to be the sleeper that people think he might be. This is arguably the most important race for Ross Chastain of the whole entire year. Because if he doesn't go out and he doesn't run really, really well, and by that, I mean top 5, top 10 at the absolute worst.
Okay.
He is going to leave Darlington knowing that the playoffs are going to be a struggle for him. Because, plain and simple, this is his best track. All right? And if he leaves Darlington with some good results and a lot of confidence, it could change things around for him. So I think it's absolutely, his biggest race of the year. I haven't bet him yet, but I will 100% have a ticket on him before qualifying tomorrow. I'm just shocked at the numbers that he opened up at, and it's 4 days later.
I'm with you. I haven't bet him yet, but I think I'm going to have a ticket before, especially when you consider how weak his qualifying group is, right? Like, we'll get in.
Like, that number's not going to get worse.
Right. I completely agree with that. And normally we can always count on him to shit the bed in qualifying, right? And maybe get a better number. But based on the qualifying groups, it's hard to see that happening this week. So,
and this is one of those better qualifying tracks too.
Right. Yeah. So I'm with you there. I think we have to find a way on him for sure. After Ross, Byron, our guy Willie B currently sits between like 8 to 1. I saw a book has him at 9 to 1. He's really flown under the radar the last 3 months, with the exception of the one road course win. And I think people are going to spawn him in the playoffs, man. And this kid could absolutely end this year with the first NASCAR championship of his career, in my opinion. I think he deserves to be the second choice in the odds board to win the chip based on everything that we've seen this year. And come playoff time, you need a good pit crew. And in 2023, there is no better pit crew on the track than that 24 team. He took advantage of volatility in the spring. He did not have the best car. He ran around in the top 5 all day long. And I've said it a half dozen times this year, man. This kid is so level-headed. He will always take what you give him. He's willing to hang around until somebody else makes a mistake. And I expect him to have a top 5 car this weekend. I expect him to contend for the win. He's personally my second favorite car, I think, driver this week. And I think the price is fair at 9-1 if you want to bet him in the outright market straight. I'm already on him. Where are you at with Willie B this week?
Yeah, I have a ticket on Willie B. He's in that second group for me of those 3 drivers. He's the second one. Uh, my concern with Willie B is them being able to make adjustments. They've shown throughout the year that they're not the greatest when it comes to having to make adjustments. They start out strong, and they fizzle. And I think Willie B is probably a better top 5 bet than a win bet.
Okay. After Byron, Denny Hamlin is Darlington. He is Martinsville. He is tire wear. He leads active drivers. He's got 4 wins on the cup level at Darlington, including a win in 2021. In the next gen car, however, it's been a mixed bag. He laid a total leg in the spring last year, finished outside the top 20. In the fall race, he came back. He finished second. Earlier this year, he finished 12th, and he probably didn't have a top 10 car in that race. So
he probably didn't have a second place car either.
He probably didn't even have a – yeah, I agree. So, things have been, I think, a miss at Darlington compared to what we've seen from Denny, at least in this new car. And like I said a couple minutes ago, earlier in the week, I thought I'd be off of him. I actually ranked him 3rd of the 4 Gibbs drivers for the race specifically this week. However, as the week has gone by, I've decided that I can't stay off him. Would I bet him at 8? Would I bet him by himself at 8-1? I think it's fair based off his pedigree, his track history, and his overall speed in general this year. Will I get involved with Denny in the end and bet him the way that we have this year? I will. I will. The 2 guys that I think I'm going to have to get on before qualifying is Denny and Chastain. Where are you at with Denny?
So, I told you I looked at all kinds of different angles for this race like I do every week. Look, the fastest lap, top 10 laps, finishing positions, were they qualified, everything. And the one driver that was not showing up in any of those stats, Denny Hamlin. And I will not go into the practice tomorrow with a Denny Hamlin ticket. I'll add him if I have to after qualifying, but he's not been the same Denny Hamlin new car Darlington that he was old car.
I don't disagree with that, Coop, yep. But I just know that there will come a point in that race where you and I will look at each other and say, what the fuck were we thinking?
Well, we very well may, but like I said, I want to see him practice. I want to see him qualify first because, there's other guys, other drivers that I feel much more confident about. And I can't bet them all, and he's the one I'm not going to go in on right now.
All right. Chris Bell, after him, currently sits around 11-1, give or take $1. We like we mentioned, we know that Bell's going to get the upgrade with the pit crew. We also know that Bell's car has been much better, I think, than the results the last 2 months. I don't really think that's debatable, but man, the kid, what he's done this year, which he really hasn't done in years past, is he's really shot himself in the foot a lot this year. That said, he was excellent here in both races in the next-gen car last year. He had 2 top 6 finishes. And then earlier this year, he finished 14th, but I think he easily had a top 10 car. And I expect probably top 5. Yeah. I expect him to be very good. He's my 3rd favorite driver probably this week. I think you could back him if you're going to get creative. My biggest worry, though, is that when his car has been really good this year, Marty's car and Denny's car are usually just as good, if not better. Now, what does that mean in terms of like, I don't know. Does that mean he's going to drive around in fourth all day because there are 3 cars that are better? I guess that could happen. Even still, I think we have to have him in our roster. I think we have to bet him in the outright market. Where are you at Chris Bell?
So, since Chicago street race, Chris Bell has had the fastest car. It doesn't show in the results, but
Right.
week in and week out, all right, he has had the fastest car. Something's happened, whether it be him, whether it be the pit crew, whether it be, Mother Nature, whatever you want to say. Something's happened, all right? I'm going to tell you right now, all right?
Here we go. Go ahead.
Chris Bell's winning this race.
Oh,
Not only is he winning this race, he's going to win Kansas.
Don't get me fucking amped up. All right, Coop. Don't get me amped up.
The guy has the pit team now. All right. He's got the experience at this track to take it to the next level. And I think it's all going to come together for him the next 2 weeks.
So you're with me. He's in your top 3 too then.
Yeah. I just told you he's going to win.
Don't start. Don't get me excited Friday night at 9:40, okay?
He's going to win this race and he's going to win Kansas. Mark my word. If I could bet those 2 races right now, I would bet Chris Bell to win both of them.
Ostradamus said Chris Bell, everything I got when he hears us in the top 3. All right. I love it. I
think it's just time. I mean,
listen, I don't know if that's going to happen, but he's one of my top 3 cars, and he's one of your top 3 cars. So that's never a bad thing.
It's going to happen.
All right. Listen, I'll take it if it's going to happen. I'm not going to complain about it. All right. After KB, Kyle Busch sits around 12-1. I saw him as high as 14-1 during the week. He's been very hit or miss on intermediates this year in terms of speed. Second at Auto Club, but that's like a weird intermediate. Totally MIA at Vegas and Dover and Kansas. But he was wicked fast at Darlington in the spring. He had top 4 speed, and we know that he's one of the best on the track when it comes to tire wear. That said, though, 3 of his last 4 at this track haven't been very good lately, I guess. It wouldn't shock me at all if KB shows up with top 3 or 4 speed. The number feels a little low. Doesn't the number feel a little low just because he's been so hot and cold this year? He's been
low as in mean like it should be lower or higher?
No, I think 12-1 is a little lower than what it should be, even though it's Kyle Busch, because of how hot and cold he's been this year.
What do you think it should be?
Like real odds, probably like 16.
Oh my! The guy led 150 laps last year here, in the piece of shit Joe Gibbs car that he was running.
This is 2023, Coop.
I know, it is 2023, and like he's my 3rd driver in that second tier of drivers, and he knows, just like Ross Chastain, this is a huge race for him, because he's done nothing but struggle the last several weeks. And it really hasn't been on him. It's been more on the car. And, this is a great, track for him to get it right. Can he win? I don't know. But I definitely think he's going to do well and finish well as long as his car holds up. Would I be surprised if he won? Hell no, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. He's one of the 5 guys I bet too. But right. I mean, I don't know. Like, gun to my head, does he win the race? Probably not.
Gun to your head, who wins the race?
Marty. I just think he's been so good this year. I'm going to say Marty.
Okay.
But I would be good with any of our guys winning. So, you know.
Yeah.
So you're with me. Like we have to have him, but you know, is he going to win the race? We're not sure.
Right. Like I want to have him a nice base to start with, and then if I have to add him live, I can and still make good money off of him.
Right.
But like I'm not betting him like Marty and Larson and Bell pre-race.
Okay. Tyler Reddick, 12-1. He's a weird guy, man. Like he could be fast. He could also.
Why is he weird?
Because he could like driving style wise. I think it sets up well for him, right? And he's been fast, but like he's also ran around in 11th and 10th a lot when he's been fast. So I don't know what to make of him this week. Like he's one of those guys where I'm concerned about, but like I don't want to go into my pocket really to bet him. I don't know. I'm in a weird place with him. Like I've been with like KB week to week this year. Where are you at with Reddick? I could use some guidance.
Well, you said he's fast. All right. And he has been fast. And there's probably a couple races that he should have won here recently, if not for issues. All right. Because he was so fast. And where Larson runs well, Tyler Reddick runs well.
I know.
And where if you look at Tyler Reddick and his results here, he hasn't been like dominating.
No.
But he's been good enough to pull through to get some good results, though. All right. And, I just think Toyota's fast. And
do you think that number is a fair number based on the speed that car?
Let me ask you this question. All right. He can be had at 15, right?
I mean, I could check I have all the books here. I'm only looking at one right now.
Well, what's he at the one you're at?
Like Reddick is 14-1 at DK and 12-1 at 365.
Right. So 14 or 15.
Right.
Would you bet him or Denny Hamlin at 8?
I would. I think it would. I think that. I mean, God, it's a tough one. I guess I would rather bet. I don't know, man. It's tough because
I would rather bet Reddick.
I guess the only reason why you could lean that way, maybe because Denny's been fast too, man. I mean, he's been fast, but you could bet half the investment basically and have the same exact number if you bet Tyler Reddick and you bet Denny Hamlin, right?
Yeah, and knowing that Denny Hamlin's going to have 9, maybe more successful pit stops at 8-1.
That's a risk, no doubt. That's a risk, no doubt. Have you bet him, Tyler Reddick?
Tyler Reddick to me is the driver that scares me the most. And I probably will be on him before qualifying tomorrow.
Where do you think he qualifies? What group is he in?
I think he qualifies in the top 10, and I think he could walk away with the pole.
He's in the tougher group.
But is it that much tougher?
I mean, it's definitely tougher.
Right, but we haven't gotten to it yet. But that group's tougher for because of the unknowns of one manufacturer.
Ford.
Right.
Right.
If Ford shits the bed, they ain't that tough, that group. But yeah, Denny Hamlin is Kevin Harvick. Tyler Reddick is the driver that scares me the most.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about Ford. I'm just gonna run through a few of them. So Kevin Harvick, right? The big talking point between you and I earlier in the week was, what do you do with Ford? I think that there are 4 Fords that I think can run well here on Sunday, and it wouldn't shock me to see Blaney and Logano from Penske or Harvick and Kez from Roush and SHR run well. Harvick has 9 finishes inside the top 10. No, 9 finishes inside the top 6 in his last 10 races at Darlington, which is ridiculous, right? He's got 2 wins in that span. He's got 3 wins on this track on the cup level. Of the guys that I'm not on right now, I think he worries me, obviously, but the guy's been MIA for a while. And if you watch the post race from last week, it looked like he wanted to start his retirement on Sunday night. Now, could he come out and rewind the clock before he rides off into the sunset? Of course he can. Especially when it comes to a tire wear track. I just don't know what to expect from him. Joey Logano, 20-1. And since the start of 2022, there is no driver that has had a higher speed ranking on tire wear tracks than Joey Logano. A lot of competition this week. And I didn't get there pre-race, mostly because I don't think the number moves drastically, and we should be able to get on him during the race if we have to. That's him. Blaney. I think Blaney was a lot better than I thought he would have been in the Darlington Spring race. I think he's been hit or miss all year. Could he put it all together? Maybe. Probably not. Keselowski quietly had a great year. We talked about 16-1 right now. And listen, could Kes put it all together here too if Ford comes to race? Yeah, I guess. And like you mentioned to me earlier in the week, they don't even have to be great. They just have to be up near the front on that last restart, and shit can get weird. So where are you at with Ford in general, and where are you at with Harvick, Logano, Blaney, and Keselowski?
Why are you afraid of Ford?
Because I mean, like, Kevin Harvick could win the race. Joey Logano was excellent here in the spring. He was pretty solid. Keselowski's had an incredible year and has a shit ton of momentum, which you talk about the big Mo a lot in NASCAR. Momentum means a ton. Like, there are Fords this week that I worry about, shitting in our apple pie. Like, I could see it this week for sure.
So the reason that Ford scares me the most is because I think back to Charlotte. Race started during the sun.
Right. Blaney owned that
down. All right. But stage 2 was dominated by Ford. I remember specifically they all finished in the top 5. And then minus Blaney, they fell apart slowly but surely during stage 3 and stage 4. This race isn't as long as that race. So that right there, is a concern for me. Like, Logano doesn't scare me as much as Harvick and Keselowski. But I don't know what to do. Like,
you can't bet them all, right? Like, that's the problem.
We can bet them. We can bet them all. We can bet them all.
No, we can't.
It just depends what number we're happy at getting them at. Do we want them at 30-1, 50-1, 75-1? Because that right there is going to determine how much we go in on them. from a unit perspective.
Are you going to bet? Like, where are you at with Harvick specifically? He scares the shit out of me at this track.
Right. Like I don't really care about the interview and all this and all that, he just scares me, because he could be really good. But then, like, if they don't have the speed, the tire wear is not going to be enough to help him. He has to have the speed. And we know that Roush has more speed right now than Stewart Haas. So I don't know. I don't know. Part of me just wants to say, let's shoot for the moon and try to get.
So are you higher on Kez? Of all the Fords, you're highest on Kez?
Yes. But see, the thing with Kez is if he doesn't have that great of a car, he's going to try to find a place to where he can steal some stage points and catch up from that perspective and not, kill him in the championship race. And sometimes when you go on that alternative strategy, it can be boom or bust. Rarely do you finish in the middle. You either do really well or that strategy really hurts you. So, I don't know. Like, part of me just wants to shoot for the moon and try to hit him at 60 to 70 and only have to put in 20.20 units or 0.25 units.
Right.
Because all of them aren't going to kill us. But
no,
that's the thing
agree.
and the thing that really hurts me and kills me the most is, like I said to you earlier, and what you just said, they don't have to be dominant. They just have to be there at the end. And if the chips fall right, I mean, that's how William Byron won the race.
And when you think about that, Coop, right? Like who sticks into your head more, like when it comes to that, than Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski? Like, they could be there at the end when they don't even have the whip to do it.
Right. Yep. And the thing is, like, Keselowski and Harvick have pretty good pit teams too. Pretty good pit teams. So I don't know. I'm not opposed to, like I said, throwing a little bit on them, but like we got to find the right parlay to be able to do it, which is the hard part.
Yeah, for sure. All right, three more guys I want to talk about, because I don't think there's anybody worth talking about, like, really far down the board. But three guys that I wanted to ask you about were, what do you think about the two Hendrick cars that aren't Larson and Byron? Elliott's 16-1, Bowman is 50-1. Where are you at with them?
I mean, Elliott scares me a lot more than Bowman. Bowman's up and down on these tire wear tracks. And I just don't know how. I mean, of course, they're going to put a lot of effort into the car. They want to win and everything. But I think it just sets up better for Chase. Like, what if Chase Elliott goes out and wins 4 playoff races?
It would be crazy. Based on the year he's had, man, he
could do it. Like, he hasn't been like dog crap. He's had a couple good races here and there. It could be his motivation. To say, hey, I'm gonna make my name in the playoffs and win 3 or 4. While we're on that topic, do you know how many races have been won by a playoff car in this car, minus the championship race?
No, I don't know.
None.
So every week in the playoffs since basically the entire playoffs last year, the only race that was won by a playoff driver, you're saying, was the championship race.
Right. And but think of it like this though. It's like the first 3 races last year were won by non-playoff cars. So after that, 4 cars are eliminated. Okay?
Right.
So some of them were in the playoffs, but they weren't in the playoffs at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what I'm basically saying is, like, if you win, you're guaranteed to move to the next round. There was no drivers that won and were moved to the next round.
Got it. Lastly, Bubba, 25.
But I mean, what do you think about Elliott? Like he kind of scares me. Just like, like, he's not great on tire wear, but he's good enough.
But that car has just like it's been average. It hasn't even been above average. I don't think. And by above average, I mean like top 15. Like he's been maybe like a top, like the very back end of the top 15 basically, and that's probably when he's running well. Just based off that car this year, it's really hard for me to even remotely think about backing him. Like I guess like you have to. It's Chase Elliott. He's one of the best drivers in the sport, so I guess you have to respect him. But man, I can't get there. I can't get there this week. What's the matter?
So, like, the whole day, man.
Oh boy.
I probably read 10 articles, maybe 12, on this Novak Djokovic Tajiri match. Because I wanted to get involved with a parlay. In the end, I didn't. Like, and my whole thing was like, do I take Joker under 18 games? Or do I take Jari over 9.5?
Okay.
And, like, I know Joker gets off to slow starts. Like, I know there's no way he's going to lose. But, like, 9.5, man. Like, that's like 6'4", 6'4", 6'3", 6'3", 6'3", 6'3". He's up 2-1. He broke him already.
Oh, he broke Joker already? Yeah. Fucking Louisville's going to break my balls in the fourth quarter here when we were up 20.
Nope, not going to happen. All right, but yeah, like, do you have any interest in Bubba?
Well, Bubba has been way better on tire wear tracks than you and I would have ever given him credit for 3 years ago. And that car is wicked. That car is just fast every single week. So I'm definitely going to be on Bubba to hit the top 10 this week. I think plus 140 is fair for that car to hit the top 10 this week. So, like, I don't see myself betting him to win the race unless, like, we see something live. But I have interest in his top 10.
Like, Bubba falls into that category for me, like with William Byron, Joey Logano, to where this new car has made it better for them on the brake piece. They're still not great in my opinion. Like, if we ran, like, without a caution and you had to go as long as you could until you wanted to pit, like, I think it would be big disadvantage for Byron, big disadvantage for Logano, big disadvantage for Bubba Wallace. Like, I think them not having to run as long on these tires has helped them out tremendously. But yeah, I agree. I think, he's live for a top 10.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at on Bubba too. I think he's live for a top 10. All right, looking at the props.
Whoa, there's one more driver you can't leave out.
There's
Come
one more.
on, man.
You can't leave. Who? Ty Gibbs?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
You always got to talk about Tiger. I have no interest in him.
All right. Fair enough. So that's Ty Gibbs. Top fives.
I can't do it this week, man. There's just too many potential top fivers. Maybe after practice and we get a better idea and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. Like,
I have a really hard time not seeing Truex and Chastain not having top five cars, I think.
yeah, you can have top five cars, but like again, a lot of the good cars in this race end up having issues.
Yeah,
That's my concern.
that's fair.
Like I don't know. It's just I don't want to get into the top fives this week.
The one top five that I saw that I thought the price was like fair to take a shot on, maybe like where you didn't even really have to get any pieces involved. I mean, you could if you want to, obviously, but I mean, I think that the fact that Kevin Harvick's plus 250 to finish in the top five based on what he's done here the last 10 races seems like a fucking misprice, man. That seems way off to me. Plus 250
for what?
For him to finish in the top five? He's finished in the top 6, 9 of the last 10, Coop. 9 of the last 10.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he plus 250 to hit the top 5?
They must have saw his interview.
Like I like that kind of interests me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it interests me, but again, like I could see Kevin Harvick finishing 8th or 9th too.
For sure. But I mean, he's not minus 110. He's plus 250.
Right.
You know? But like that was the only one that I saw that I was like, wow, that's pretty solid price. But yeah, I'm with you. I think that there are so many cars that could run well. It's tough to get involved in the top 5, but he was the one guy that I saw that I was like, okay, I could see that. Top 10s. I wrote down 5 that I would want to bet. That I think that you would need like a piece to get involved in some of them. But I wrote down Harvick, Byron, Chastain, Hamlin, and Busch were the 5 that I wrote down.
Harvick, Chastain, Hamlin, Busch,
and Byron. Like you could maybe say Byron's not going to win the race. I have a really hard time seeing him not running the top 10.
But you got to get really involved because, like, I'm looking at DraftKings at minus 350, minus 300.
Right, they're minus 2. Byron's minus 220 at Bet365. Hamlin's minus 220 at Bet365. Chastain's 250.
So you're looking to get them around even.
Right. Exactly. Something safe.
Yeah.
Like even money, I would bet all those guys. I think.
I make it happen.
Okay. Is there anybody that you would add in there?
Well, you said Hamlin, Byron, Chastain, Busch,
and Harvick.
The one I would possibly is Bell.
Yeah, I could see that too. And like
every race in this car,
and he's minus 160. Like it would only take like you know,
if you can get me even money or plus 125 on all of them,
You
I
you
think
would
I
bet
would
them,
rather
right?
I would rather take them than like
Right.
try to chase Kozlowski, Elliott, Logano, Blaney, Bubba Wallace type of drivers.
Yeah. 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 I'm gonna do that for us tonight, for sure.
Because if we go with if I like 6 better than 5.
So Bell would be 6.
And the reason I say that, all right, is if we have 5, then we have to get 3 of them in to make profit. If they're
Right.
even money.
Right.
If there's 6, we still have to get 3.
Right.
You see what I'm
And
saying?
I'm confident that we can get better than even money on all of them.
No, you going with the Rose Spivak parlay?
No. I'm talking safe, like round two starts. Will get us better than even money on 3.
So all right, hold on. I have this in my bet slip. Fight to start round 2. Lapoulis against Loughran.
I don't know yet. I can't tell you that. I already talked to you today about. It's been a bad week for Jay. But
Fight to start round 2. Gomez, Giannis.
That I think will go the full. I think the Gomez fight probably goes the whole 15.
Fight to start round 2. Fiorot, Rose.
100%.
Right.
Yep. Love that.
I have that right there. It's in my buck slip because I was looking at it earlier.
So if you put those guys, what do you get? What do you get with like Harvick top 10, Byron top 10, Chastain top 10 with that parlay?
Move on, and I'll come back to you because
Okay.
that's going to take me a minute because I got to take out the other 2 that I had in here, and then
Okay.
I got to readjust that. So I just don't want to sit here the whole time.
Yeah. Okay, so that's top 5 and top 10. Matchups. I bet one matchup. I bet Keselowski. I'm sorry. I bet Harvick over Busher. That was the one matchup that I bet. It was like -110, I think, or -115 at DraftKings. I mean, Kevin Harvick at Darlington. I know that Roush has been good. I know that Busher's won 3 of 5. Harvick is so much better historically than Chris Busher at Darlington. I have a hard time seeing. I would have thought that price would have been like -140.
Who are we talking about now?
Harvick over Busher.
Yeah, I like that. 115.
Yeah.
If Chris Busher runs well this week, and by well I mean like top 5, he might be hanging out with Ty Majeski.
Do we just bet him to win the championship? If Chris Busher runs in the top 5 at Darlington.
No. He'll be something. It'll raise eyebrows. He's not very good here at all.
I know. So why is that matchup? Why is he a coin flip against
because he's
Kevin
won 3
Harvick?
out of the last 5 races.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that a lot. And you can even if you didn't want to lay the 115 and you wanted to add a piece, you could probably get it up to 2-1. Harvick over Busher. I was completely fine with laying the -115. I didn't mind it. I laid it. But you could get creative there if you wanted to.
Yeah. Again, I'm being serious. If he runs top 5, he's hanging out with Ty Majeski. All right. So
any other what matchups do you? Oh, good.
Going back to these top 10s real quick. Fight to start round 2. What books is that available on? And I'm not going to like the answer to this, I don't think. I know
DraftKings,
it's DraftKings.
BR.
Fuck. That's it, right?
That might be it. Yeah. That might be it. Oh, no. FanDuel, but you can't parlay it. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Pull up Bet Rivers.
I got it up.
Did you have top 10 up?
Yeah.
What's Denny?
Denny is... Oh, they pulled all their odds. Oh, no, now they're up. They populated. Denny is minus 220.
You just might as well place these bets. So all 3 of those fights to start round 2, okay, is minus 108. Oh, excuse me, is minus 200 on DK. I don't know what it's on Bet Rivers, on DK. So Denny Hamlin at minus 350 is minus 108. So you're going to get a much better number at Rivers.
Right.
What's Byron?
Byron is minus 225.
All right, so minus 300 is plus 101.
Okay.
Chastain?
Minus 190.
Minus 280 is plus 104. Bush?
Minus 180.
Minus 225 is plus 117.
And Bell's minus 180.
All right, so he's minus 200 here, plus 126. So you can get them all at like even money to a buck and a quarter.
But like at Bet 365, right? Like you can bet you could bet like the Rose fight over 1.5. I feel pretty good that fight's gonna go the whole 15. So right. You could bet you it's gonna be an extra 2 minutes for you to get through, but you can bet them at 365.
Okay. So was that the only? But I like that. I think that has my seal of approval.
What about matchups? Were there any matchups that piqued your interest?
Like Eric Jones has just been so bad.
I know.
But like
did he win? Did he win at Darlington? Didn't he like surprise
last year?
Yeah.
He's won here twice.
But he's been like literally non-existent.
Totally different car.
The whole year. Yeah.
But he's against Ty Gibbs. Like I'm not thrilled with Ty Gibbs either. So I would like if you can find a Eric Jones matchup to fade him, I don't mind it. But everyone I've seen is Ty Gibbs.
I was just gonna say something to you. Fuck, what was I gonna say to you? Oh, what about now? I haven't looked at I'm way behind this week. So in the morning when they're practicing and qualifying, I'm going to be looking at that Xfinity race. But what about top fives and matchups in the Xfinity race as a parlay piece? Are there cars that stick out to you in that race this week? Because you've looked at it. I haven't looked at it yet.
I think the 5 winners or the 5 drivers who can win are going to come from Larson, Hamlin, Busch, Allgaier, John Hunter. Now, I have top 5 tickets on John Hunter, Allgaier, and Busch already. It's through.
Allgaier's been so strong.
And the reason I say you can't count out Allgaier and John Hunter is if you look at last year's race, Noah Gragson won it. Larson was in it. Hamlin was in it. And John Hunter, I think, led like 70 or 80 laps. I did bet Larson, Denny, and Busch to win in a parlay.
Larson, Denny, and Busch.
Yeah. And made the decision to bet Allgaier and John Hunter live if I have to.
Okay.
Because, like, you can get them at 7 and 9.
So those are the 5. So the 2 regulars and then the 3 ringers would be your top 5 going in.
Yeah, Ross is in the race too, man, but his equipment's just not good. Your buddy, all right, has extremely good track history here.
Who?
Especially in the trucks.
Josh Berry?
No.
Who?
Your buddy.
My
the guy
God.
you like to bet, who I tell you never to fucking bet.
In Xfinity?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is that, Coop?
Sheldon Creed.
Oh, yeah. He fucked me good last weekend. He cost us a perfect weekend last weekend. Sheldon Creed.
He has exceptional history here in truck history.
Really?
Yeah. Hasn't panned out in the
Who has the strongest car of the ringers? Larson?
It's hard to say. I mean, like, and this is another reason, like, I like Larson, is the whole year we've been down on that 10 car and saying it's not as good.
Yeah.
Well, he won the spring race here in the 10 car.
Who's in the 17?
Larson. You're really confused now, aren't you?
So who's in the 10? KB?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And Denny's in the 19.
So Busch is going to be a factor then.
He should be. I mean, that 10 car's been up and down, but, I wouldn't put past Kyle Busch to, will that thing to a victory.
So no other matchups besides Jones, fading Jones if we can?
No other matchups. As of right now.
I found one group bet that I liked. I saw it on Superbook, but it might be somewhere else besides Superbook. But it was Keselowski and Harvick.
Whoa. Is this a group?
Yeah.
Okay. I have one. You went from head-to-heads to groups.
Yeah, group. I found one group bet.
So I found one group bet that I like.
Okay. This was on Superbook.
And it has Keselowski and it has Harvick.
Okay. I like Keselowski and Harvick over Buescher and Elliott.
Oh, see. Mine's a little different.
What do you have?
Buescher and Logano.
Oh, I might like that better. I don't know if I like that better.
Right.
I don't know if I like that better, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe we just bet them both. Where is that?
You don't want to know.
Oh, Fred. Yeah. I don't even know if this one is available anywhere. Keselowski and Harvick over Buescher and
What
Elliott.
were the numbers on Keselowski and Harvick?
270, I think, and 270.
See, I think at Fred it was 250 and 285.
Okay.
I think.
So we were going the right direction though. We were both trying to hit the same mark. I didn't really see any other group that interests me besides that one.
I did not either.
Tell Adam to stop fucking messaging you right now. Is that fucking Meyer?
No, but
I
want to tell you something.
Oh boy, I don't know if I want to hear
it. I got a message earlier today
from
Adam Meyer.
Okay.
Hold on. I want to check something real quick. Oh. And he says, hold on, let me pull it up. Max under 8.5 Ks is 105 on 365.
Are you fucking
I've seen it as high as minus 140 on other books. Could be a good parlay leg if you're looking to add anything tonight.
Adam Meyer said that?
Yeah. I said, when do they play? He said 8:05. I said, okay, how many times has he went under that number? And who are they playing? Let me check. They're playing the Twins. And he sent me the numbers. Well, the very first one I saw was August 26th. He just struck out 10 Twins. And then, like every other start is like he's hit it and he hasn't. He just K'd 10 Twins on the 26th. I said, I know, I'm in passing.
Let me tell you something right now.
I passed.
And what happened?
It hit.
Let me tell you something right now. If I had to tail Iowa on baseball plays, like for the remainder of my professional betting career, I would be in a tent in Branch Brook Park in Newark within 12 months. Okay? Within 12 months.
But I passed.
Well, good. Thank fucking God for that.
But it hit. So. But yeah, I thought you might be proud of me. I passed on it, man.
Yeah, I am.
I didn't let peer pressure get on to me, man.
I'm proud. Iowa, he's turning into a nice little NASCAR handicapper under our tutelage, but baseball, not on your life. Not on your life. So DraftKings has another group, Coop. It's kind of like the same thing, Harvick and Busher, but it's over Elliott and Blaney instead of Elliott and Logano or Elliott and whoever the guy that I wanted to back was.
I like it with Busher in there.
Yeah, because you basically you got to beat Elliott at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's a Bet365. It is, Coop. It's Group C at Bet365. They're both 270.
What is it again?
They're all four are plus 270. Busher, Keselowski, Harvick, Elliott. So you could bet that. Yes. If you like Busher better than Logano in there. So I think I'm going to
43.5 home.
In what game?
Miami against Miami.
Oh, nice.
Now I just need you, Mike, to get me home.
We're going to get you home, bro. We're going to get you home. I think I'm going to bet that group. That's on my list.
But would you rather bet Logano or Elliott is what I'm coming down to.
Right.
Like, you don't have that option, but I do.
I don't have that option. I don't even know what the right answer is.
Right. Like, and I can make cases for both.
Right.
Right.
Man, like if I had confidence, if this race wasn't a marathon, I would say let's take them against them all. Let's take let's take the Fred matchup that you can take. Let's take the one on DK. Let's take the one on Bet365. I just don't see how Keselowski or Harvick don't win that group unless some fuckery happens.
Well, let me know when you're ready to talk about, things other than groups.
I mean, I don't know. Well, we could move on to like top manufacturer. I just looked at the groups like at most sites. I don't really see another group that I like besides those groups.
I mean, there might be some that top out after practice. Sometimes that changes your mind.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I'm with you.
All right, top manufacturer. So
let's start with Ford.
Yeah, Harvick, Keselowski, Logano.
So my question to you.
They're the three I wrote down.
All right. Is you wanted to play Harvick and Keselowski against a combination of Buescher, Logano, and Elliott.
Right.
Depending upon the group. Would you rather play Harvick and Keselowski as top Ford at better numbers?
I think that there's probably a better chance that we hit. Well, I don't know. It really comes down to because you can get 340 on 340, and let's say 375 on Logano, right? Like what do you like? Can Buescher, Blaney? I guess they're the only two, right? That can even fuck us up. Buescher and Blaney.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you expect out of McDowell, Briscoe, Almirola, Cindric? Nothing, right?
Right. Like, if somebody other than those five drivers is the top Ford, there's been a lot of shenanigans happen.
Yeah.
Because McDowell is not good.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. Like, I'm not really against both.
You mean doing the top Ford and the group?
Yeah, I just don't see a world where Kevin Harvick doesn't finish in the top 10 and Keselowski probably doesn't finish in the top 10. And I don't think you could, that's not an automatic for Buescher, for Blaney, and for anybody else in the top Ford other than Joey Logano. So like I'm not against betting them both. Like in the props market, I am not against us going heads up with Harvick and Keselowski against these other Fords. But I do think like we should add Joey Logano. Like I don't think we should just take two to be the top Ford. I think we should add Joey in there too.
Okay. So on Bet365, just to give you an idea, if you take the Gomez Giannis to go to distance, Rose and Fiorac to go to distance, and Lapis and Mothrin to go to distance, and parlay it with the top Ford, Harvick's at 340, They're all between 340 and 375. So it's between 1454 and 1577.
I like the numbers, but I have to think about the USC legs.
Okay. Well, I think the one that you're worried about is Lopolis and Lothran, right?
Yeah, like I feel a lot better betting like fights to start round 2 than having to worry about it going the whole way. I just want to take a look. I still have to really dig in. What time does practice and qualifying start?
12:30, I think.
Okay. Okay. So we'll have the night and all morning. All right.
But just to give you an idea, like, let me change it up real quick. All right. Do you want to do? Hold on.
Louisville scored 13 unanswered. They're up by 1, and there's 8 minutes left in the game. Just a heads up.
Jesus.
But even if they score one more touchdown, it's a push. I think as long as Georgia Tech could hold the ball for a while or get a field goal, we're gold.
So on 365, if you do all those to be over 1.5, those 3 fights, it's 852
each.
Well, basically, I have it up with Logano, which is the highest. So it'd probably be like 800 for.
That feels way safer, and I think that like you could still pick up 5 units. I guess Ryan Blaney could fuck us up, but man, outside of that. I think that's the way to go. Man, we're going to have a lot of action this weekend. It's not a good feeling. Who missed the 35-yard field goal? Georgia Tech? That's what's going to ruin me? That's not what I want to hear.
But wait a minute, man. Like, there's 5 Ford drivers. You're going to bet a unit on each one of them?
No, I'm going to bet 3 Ford drivers.
Oh, you're not going to bet all 5.
No, I'm going to bet Harvick, Keselowski, and Logano. That's it. If Ryan
just hope that Blaney doesn't.
Yeah, if he gets me, he gets me.
I mean, I think his best finish here is 8th or 9th.
I just don't see Harvick or Keselowski not being the car.
Okay, we know we have that possible.
Any other bets? Top Chevy we didn't talk about.
Yeah, we got carried away. Hold on. Now, this is something maybe. Probably not. I think Chevy is going to have too many drivers for me to participate.
I think you're right because Larson's 220, Chastain is 260. I think the prices on Byron and Busch are pretty solid. But you're going to have to bet 4. I don't want to do that. Like, if we're going to bet the top Ford, I think we just stay away from Chevy. Unless you're going to take a shot on one guy.
Right. And I'm not.
Right. Although, like, that price on Elliott at like 9-1 is fucking nuts, isn't it? It's crazy.
Like, I think top Toyota, like, you could possibly do.
I saw that number on Marty. I looked at it 6 times.
Yeah,
I was like,
plus 150.
What?
But I mean, if Bell or Reddick get it, because I don't think you have to bet Bubba and Ty.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Because that prop I just gave you, the over 1.5, Bell is 10-1, Reddick is 13-1.
Just trying to take 2 of them to beat the other 4.
Well, I mean, Marty's 4-1, Denny's 6-1.
Yeah, that's so much, man.
Like I think you just take all 4 of them, and if Marty wins it, it's a wash.
Yeah,
because I can't try to beat Marty.
I'm not going to do it because I have 4 units invested in Top Toyota from last weekend, trying to get that Bubba bet home. So, but like, I think that had I not had those open parlays from last week, I think I would have probably maybe taken the shot on Bell. And you make an argument for Reddick. I could see that too. And then just hopefully they beat the other 4. But I don't know. I'm just going to stay away. I think I'm just going to stick with Top Ford. I think
Jerry won set 1.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Djokovic,
he dropped sets early more than you would think.
Right. But yeah, I think Ford's where we need to stick with the top.
I'm with you.
Because there would be some crazy shit happening if one of those 5. Well, I say 5, you say 3, but.
What do you think about Joe Gibbs to win the race at plus 170?
No. Like if I can see any 3 of the manufacturers winning.
How like
now
Penske at 10-1 isn't a bad way to get exposure on Logano and Blaney. If you play it with that over 1.5 rounds, yeah,
it's 19.
See, like that's not a bad ticket to have in your pocket.
But do you do the same thing with 23XI, or do you just bet Tyler Reddick? Because you would just bet Tyler Reddick, right?
Yeah, because I don't think Bubba's a threat to win.
And same way with RFK, you would just bet Kez.
100%, right. Same thing with Trackhouse. You're going to bet Chastain. You're not going to bet Suarez.
Right.
Yeah, I think like Penske would be the one. 19-1's not bad.
If you can get all 3 of those legs through.
Right.
So let me ask you this. All right. How risky are you feeling?
Not very risky. Why? Not very. I have 7 units in play from last weekend. I don't feel that risky, Coop.
Right. But come Sunday morning, you're gonna know where we're at on them 7 units.
True. Yeah, That's true.
Right?
It could be. It could already be a sick weekend. It could be a phenomenal
So 19 get you Penske.
Yeah.
If you take that 3-leg parlay and put Ford in it, you're at 9. And then you have a little bit of Harvick coverage too.
True. And Keselowski.
Right. So do you bet both of them?
No. I think I would either go with the try to get the number on Ford up like I did last weekend. Hopefully I can get that home tomorrow. Rather than I think actually that now that you say that, that's probably the better way to go.
Because that gives you coverage on 4 drivers versus 2 drivers.
Right.
Although at half the price.
Right.
But you have 4 drivers.
And it would not shock me or you if fucking Harvick or Keselowski came from the rafters. I mean, we know what Harvick has done at Darlington, and we know how good Keselowski's been this year.
But then one more. All right. So that's at 9. All right. And you would bet a unit on that, right?
Right. You would have, you would have to, unless you wanted to bet a half unit and be like, you know what? If Ford wins, it'll cover my outrights that I have bet, the 5 units that I bet in the outright market. Like, I guess you could do that too. You don't have to go the full unit. You could kind of use it as a hedge, because you would have to think, if they look good and they look like they're going to get there, we're probably going to get on them during the race also. So I don't think you probably don't have to be invested a full unit.
But I'm thinking, all right, so would you bet a full unit or a half a unit?
I'd probably bet a full
on Ford.
I would probably bet a full unit because I'm up 160 this year.
So that would give you a 9K.
Right.
Okay.
But if I wasn't, like, if we were having a normal year and not a crazy year, I'd probably bet a half unit. They're really going to try to fuck this game up, Coop, in the last 5 minutes. Fucking hell.
The reason I was asking, all right.
Talk dirty to me, Coop. Go ahead.
Is because if you took that 3-leg parlay and you just did,
that's a flag. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And you did a quarter of a unit on Kez, a quarter of a unit on Harvick, a quarter on Logano. Who's the other? And Harvick. Hold on.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Those 4 drivers.
Right.
So like Kez would be 8,500. So you would lose a little bit. And I mean, this is at 16-1. You might be able to get him better somewhere else. But Logano, you would lose. You would get 10.5. Okay. Because he's 20-1.
Right.
I'm just thinking of it from that perspective. Because it's the same parlay, whether you do it one way or the other.
Right.
But the outright numbers are obviously much better. And you would be spending a unit either way.
Right.
So something to think about.
What do you think about qualifying? Like, when I think about who I expect to be really fast, like going for the pole, the 3 guys that stick out to me are Byron, Bell, and Hamlin. Where are you at?
Bell
and Hamlin.
Byron, Bell, and Hamlin. Byron,
Where,
Bell, and Hamlin. See, I would say Byron, Bell, Marty, Larson. I mean, I get. I mean, I know I'm not on Hamlin, but it'll be hard not to put him in there.
Chris
And
Bell's I think he's like 10-1 to get the pole.
That's not that good though.
But like when you consider that Larson and Marty are 4, Denny is 6.
Yeah, that's horrible. I mean, like the poll numbers are like trash compared to obviously what they used to be. But.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, if we get in here, Coop, we're gonna get this. Oh! Oh my God, I saw it coming from a mile away, bro. I saw the sack coming from a mile away. He fumbled the sack on the 20 going in. Oh my God. Now we got 4 minutes left in the game.
Hopefully they just kick a field goal.
Oh, I saw it coming from a mile away, man. Fuck. I want 5 for 6 to start the year in college football. I want this.
But you know they're gonna drain the clock.
Yeah, I hope so. Fuck.
So do you have any interest? Let me even see what it is.
Don't fuck me, kid. Run the football. Get out of here with a win.
Damn. Winner of stage 1's plus 500. Winner of stage 2 is 300.
No way, dude. He broke an 80-yard run, Coop.
What?
He broke an 80-yard run. I'm going to push this game now. Maybe even lose it. Jesus Christ, what a turn of events. They went from about to go up 6 as an 8-point dog to fumbling the ball, then an 80-yard run on the next play, and now they're about to be up 8.
I wonder how many people just got 7.5 versus 8.
I would say a lot. I found
because when I went to place that bet, Caesars was the only one that had 8. Everybody else was 7.5.
And when I placed the bet, BR was the only place that had 8, and everybody else had 7.5. So I think a lot of people are on 7.5. That fucked a lot of people.
I mean, we don't need them to tie it up. We just need them to score. But they ain't going to kick a field goal. It's touchdown or nothing.
Right.
So 500 or 300 for the stage winner?
The problem is that we're going to see, it's such a long race, man.
Like I mentioned earlier, like 115 laps for a first stage. Like, I don't think we can bet first stage.
Yeah, no, because you figure what they're going to pit twice, 3 times in that first stage,
2 or 3, depending upon how the cautions fly.
That's off the table for Sunday. Right. Yeah, no doubt. I kind of feel like we should take a shot on Chris Bell to win the pole at 10-1. That's not bad. He's so fast, man. How many times do we see him? And the reason why I said Byron is because I think he's got 3 poles this year, doesn't he? Already?
Oh yeah. 3 or 4.
But winner of stage 1, I think, is out. Stage 1 winner.
Yeah. The more I think about it, like if we go with Ford to win, and we have those 3 Fords as a top Ford, like that makes me feel better about not having to bet Keselowski, Harvick, and them as an outright prior.
Right.
And then we can focus on Chastain and then maybe Reddick.
Johnny comes
prior.
to dunk on my head that says, glad I grabbed Georgia Tech Live plus 9.5. Fucking Johnny. Read the room, kid. Yeah, I'm with you, though, Coop. I'm with you. But, like, all right, so the 5 guys that I've bet in the outright market are Marty and Bell, Larson and Byron, and Busch. I think we got to get on Chastain. You worry about Reddick. I worry about Denny, like not having a Denny ticket.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not going to play Denny until after practice and qualifying. It's a risk.
Right now, the 5, you have how many outrights right now?
How many outrights do I have?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Do you have the same 5?
Oh, drivers? Yeah, I have the same 5 drivers.
Okay, so we're going to bet Chastain. That's a 6th.
But I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5, 4. Well, hold on. That's Xfinity. 1, 2, 3. I have 4 different parlays with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, with 8 drivers total involved. Not separate, but because I have Truex a couple times and Larson a couple times.
Right. So you're gonna add Chastain tonight. I'm gonna add Chastain tonight. Are you adding anybody else?
If I had anybody else, it would be Reddick. As long as we do the Fords. You know what I'm saying? The Ford.
Right. Don't you think that's the way to go for a little safety net?
Right. I mean, the only thing is if we go that way, that leaves Chastain, Hamlin, and Reddick as the unprotected ones.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going to go for it on 4th and 6, I think, right now from their own 40. If they don't get this, I'm going to lose. They were up 28-16, and it's 36-28. It's only a half unit, but it's nice to say I'm 5 for 6.
You don't think, man, that Louisville could kick a field goal?
Yeah, they're going to. They just missed it on 4th down. They're going to kick a field goal and they're going to beat us.
Bad beat. Timeouts. Georgia Tech has all 3 timeouts too, so you know they're going to stop though. They need a sack, which is going to be hard. Maybe a holding penalty is the saving grace.
I can't start a new month with a winner. It's amazing. I'm going to start the month down again.
So, for everybody that has the Chris Benoit tickets,
who?
How are you, Chris Benoit? How are you going to hedge on him?
I'm not.
You're not going to.
No, the Saint Denis leg,
all or nothing.
The Saint Denis leg is going to ride.
Because St. Denis.
Yeah, because I have right now, I
You're not
have
going to hedge.
him money line. I can't hedge because I have him money line and then Rose money line. And that would be Bubba. That would get Bubba at 24-1 home. That would get Ford won the race last week
Whoa,
at
whoa,
14 to
whoa,
1 home.
hold on.
Yeah.
So you need Rose to win too?
Yeah, but I that's the leg that I'm gonna hedge. If I get past the Saint Denis leg, I'm out, bro. I'm taking the full. I figured it out. I think I'll make 15 units. If Saint Denis wins and I can hedge the last leg, I'm guaranteed to make 15 units. That's where I'm
All
going
right,
to be.
well, see, I'm different. I don't have Rose. I just have St. Denis.
And what is that live from last week for what?
Well, I have it in two. I have it at 10-1
For
at
Enfinger?
at a third of a unit for Enfinger,
I'm with
and
you. I
then
have that.
I have it in a group with Enfinger at a half a unit.
Okay.
Where I
Yeah.
got him at 400, and I think
Right.
it was 484 plus 484.
I have that same Enfinger parlay you have at 10-1 for a quarter unit. I'm gonna leave that alone. But that'll basically be my money line.
That's not with Rose.
Correct.
So you're
And
not going to hedge off of that one.
correct. Because it's only a quarter unit. You know what I mean? So I mean it's not the end of the world. But the two big ones
So for our, hold on. So for us peasants,
yeah.
all right, like how would you hedge? Would you just take? I don't even know who the dude's fighting.
Tiago Moises. Yeah, I would probably just take Tiago Moises money line. Yeah. That's how I would hedge.
What is it? Plus 180 maybe?
Probably like
200?
I'll tell you right now, but I want to say like plus 150. Right now, Saint Denis is where is Saint Denis?
Don't we kind of hope they get a first down here?
He's minus 170. So Moises is plus 140 right now.
Oh. Yeah,
If you weren't going to bet it that way, then the hedge would probably be Tiago Moises wins the fight and round 2 starts over at DraftKings. You'll probably get a better price than that. Let's see what that. I'll tell you what that price is right now.
We want a first down, right?
I don't know what we want, dude. This is if we didn't have the month that we had, I'd be pretty tilted over this loss. But we had a great night last night in college.
Maybe he misses. You know how these college kickers can be. Some of them aren't the greatest. Now, what were you going to say about Rose and St. Denis?
So you can get plus 165 with the fight to go over 4.5 minutes and Tiago Moises money line. That'll get you a better price. You can go over 5.5 minutes and you'll get plus 180. That would be 30 seconds in the round 2. So that's probably the way that I would tell you to go.
Okay.
It's a DraftKings same game parlay. Moises and the over 5.5 minutes. I'm gonna let the Saint Denis that's gonna ride. So I have 5 units basically on him, and actually on top of that, Coop, on top of the 5 units that I have on him from last week. I have 4 units on him this week. So I have 9 units tied to him. That will be 9. That will be like 9K gone. But we did make 56 units last week. So last month. So I will live no matter what happens.
At least this forces Georgia Tech to consider a field goal. Since they have to score twice.
True. Maybe they'll let them dink and dunk down the field too. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get a backdoor. Lucky in a game where we were up 20, in a game where we were going in to go up is fucking nuts. I got to shut this game off or it's going to tilt me.
Do we take a shot on Dejari at 400?
What's he up? Just the set?
He's up the set, and then in the second it's 3-3, and he's up 15 love in the game. Joker's sobering.
It's so hard to go against Novak.
It is.
I'd be shocked if he lost. What was the line going into the match? Do you remember?
Maybe 1,700. Maybe. I don't know. It might have been more. I'm sure signed or somebody can tell you, but now it's 310. He's up 30 love. He's going to break him.
Joker was minus 10,000 signs.
Yeah. Joker was minus 10,000, but
yeah, it's tough to get on that guy at 3-1. That's a tough ask.
But it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, but
it could get better. But
if Joker wins the set, the guy's going to be what, 8-1?
I don't know about 8-1, maybe 6. He's up 40 love. He's going to break him. I should have hit it at 4. Now it's 250.
26 points to 0 in the second half tonight, Coop.
Well, maybe they can score a touchdown.
26-0. Oh, Keg. This is not the energy that we want going into the weekend, Keg. 26-0 in the second half.
So, you've been following college football for the few games that it started.
Yeah.
And you know they have a new procedure with the play clock now, right? Where it runs versus it stops. And
correct.
They're not getting as many plays, and
a
lot of these games are going under.
I bet we hit 2 unders last night, 2 winners. I've adjusted the line to 2.9 points a game. It's worth. I think it's worth about a field goal.
I think I might just pick 30 games tomorrow and bet all unders and see what happens.
Well, I think early in the year, if you're going to do that this year, early in the year would be the way.
210 now, man. You cost me 190 points.
Coop, we might get a back door here, Coop. They're going in.
I told you.
They might just let them score a touchdown here.
Let them score a touchdown? I don't know about that.
Well, there's only a minute left in the game, though.
Well, they would have to get the onside kick. I just want to see him kick a field goal.
He caught a Coop. We're on the 5 going in, Coop. Let's go. This is the energy we need, Coop.
Dude, you just totally switched 20 seconds ago. This is not the energy we need.
This is the energy we need, Coop. Come on.
Kick the field goal.
Don't fuck me. Get me there, baby. Let's go.
right. All right. All right. All right. This game's good now. We're good.
Oh, whoa, no. How could you say that out loud?
Because if they get the onside kick, they're going. If they don't have any timeouts to stop the clock. It's done. It's good.
So many things happen in a football game.
It's all good, man. Hey, I think I have a lock.
Oh,
Stone cold
Christ.
lock.
Now we're going with that word. What do you want to do to me, Coop?
For next week to parlay with football. I think it's a lock.
What is that?
I'll talk to you about it after the show.
This guy. All right. That's it. We're done for the night. We're done for the night, boys. There'll be a lot of plays on the website this weekend. You guys know the deal. You guys know what to do. It's been a great run. We made 56 units last month. Hopefully we could build on that in September. We have 3 more months to go. The first 4 more months, actually. The first, wait, is that true? 9, 10, 11? Yeah, 4 more months. First 8 months of the year have been crazy. Best 8-month run I think I've ever had. Hopefully we could continue to build on that this month, Coop. Hopefully we keep it going all the way to December. And that's it. We'll be live tomorrow at 12:30 all day and night. We got UFC Paris. We have the Xfinity race. We have college football. And then Sunday night at 6 o'clock, we will be live for the Southern 500.
What are you going to do with the Xfinity race? You haven't gotten in on it.
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to be up in my bed all night long going through shit because I didn't feel good this week. I had a rough week. But I think as long as Saint Denis wins, as long as he,
you know what it was.
It's going to be great.
You know what it was that just made your whole week. It was when you fucking was watching the race on Sunday, and you fucking just started bouncing in that chair, man. I told you were going to break that chair. You were bouncing in it, man.
Why do you want to break my balls? Like, why?
Because you couldn't contain your excitement over your injuries.
I couldn't. We're winning a lot of money, Coop. I mean, if people only knew how much fucking money, like when you told me how much money that you had invested in the race last Sunday, I almost fell off the fucking chair. I said, wait, what? How much? You were like, this is it, Jay. It's this is gonna make or break us, bro, for the rest of the year. And I was like, what? Make or break?
And that was just pre-race.
Think about how much money we wasted betting Ty Majeski.
Corey Heim.
That Ty Majeski was just wasted money. We should have fucking fed a soup kitchen for a month.
Yeah. I'm just watching now. Now you've cost me 240 points. He's up 5-3.
He's plus 150. I almost signed. Are you here? Do we take Novak at minus 180? It's Novak.
He's got to win 3 sets in a row.
Coop, do you know how many times he's done that in his life? He's the greatest tennis player ever.
Everything that I read and everything that I heard in this chat, DeJury is he's not going to give it to you. He plays you tough, and obviously he's playing pretty damn good. he was hitting 80% of his serves, first serve. And I guess it's really working tonight because he was only at like 57% of his second serve. So I don't know. To look at it. But yeah, cool.
All right,
Good
boys,
night.
we're out of here tomorrow at check the website, obviously, before we go live tomorrow, before practice and qualifying starts. When you guys around 11 o'clock noon, make sure you check the site, make sure you get all your action in if you're going to tail us. And that's it. We'll see you at 12:30, and we will be live all night long.
Game's over.
Yeah, game's over. We won 5-1 to start the college football year. For Coop, I'm Keg. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We're out. Later.